Hi, good morning. I'm Debs Jenkins from chaosification.com, where I help clients get out of the chaos in their heads and turn their ideas into products and services their clients will love. And today I'm going to talk to you about the disaster farm, which is where I live. So we moved here 3 years ago tomorrow, and the disaster farm is exactly how it sounds. It's a disaster. It's a 200-year-old farm falling down in the Spanish countryside. When we moved in 3 years ago, one of the things we didn't have was toilets and running water. But after putting in toilets and running water, one of the things we wanted to put in was some lighting. Now, the disaster farm is kind of like rooms stepping down. It's dark. It's really thick walls. You can imagine a very, very old Spanish farmhouse, dilapidated, falling down. Lots of little rooms stepping one into another. Lots of dark corners. Now, our friends who also have a disaster farm, in their farm, they have these special lights that as you walk into a room, the light senses you and it turns on. Now, the only other time I've come across these lights where you walk into a room and the light turns on was public toilets. And obviously you walk into the room, your light comes on, you're all surprised, you sit down, you do whatever you do in the public toilet, the light goes off. So then you have to do the toilet dance to get the light back on. Okay, so I had like mixed feelings about these toilet dance type lights that come in as you walk into a room. But in our friend's farm, these lights were working really brilliantly, what meant they didn't have to remember to turn them on and off in particular, that if they're walking through rooms with things in their hands, the lights would come on. It was like sort of, ta-da, here I am. You'd walk into the room and the light would come on. Fabulous idea. So we decided we were going to do the same. And we installed these lights in not all of the rooms, but lots of the rooms, especially the darkened rooms, the rooms where, slapping your hand against the wall to turn the light switch on might mean that you put your hand on a big fat spider. So we had lots of good reasons for putting these lights in the room. Now, and it worked really, really well. And 3 years ago, we moved in, and that's how the disaster farm lights up. As you step into a room, the light comes on. But what I want to talk to you about today is you actually have to step into the room before the light comes on. You have to get yourself into the room, because if you just get to the doorway of the room and you stop, the light's not going to come on. You have to step into the room. And like stepping into darkened rooms or into places that are unknown can be a little bit, nerve-wracking at first, a bit frightening. So I've got some tips for you about how you can sort of do this, because when people come to our house, to the disaster farm, they're kind of like, they slap the walls looking for light switches and they aren't there. So we have to go, look, just watch, follow me. And I step into a room and they go, oh, the light comes on, and then they can step into the room after me. Sometimes we even go, hold my hand, and we step into the room together and look, the light comes on. It's kind of magical. After a while of doing this, people become kind of confident of stepping into darkened rooms. They're not afraid of the monster that might be in there. They don't have to slap the spiders on the wall. They can just step into a room and know that the light will come on, and they get more and more confident. It's kind of like fun. Well, it is for me, I'm childish. Kind of fun to walk into a room and the light comes on automatically. It's kind of like, ooh, look, here I am. And after a while, it just kind of becomes, normal. I walk into this room, the light comes on. I walk into that room, the light comes on. It becomes very, very normal. So the three things that I want to bring out for you here, I'm one of those types of people who never leave a good metaphor without explaining it completely and then destroying it. So let me explain my metaphor a little bit more for you. There are three things to draw out of this metaphor. And the first thing is that, well, perhaps you should emulate what works. Our friends were using it. It worked really, really well for them. And we thought, well, let's try it for us. So we emulated what worked. That's number one. Number two is sometimes you have to hold a hand to walk into a darkened room for the first time. You have to hold a hand to walk into the unknown. And sometimes you just have to follow somebody. You just have to follow them and walk behind them. And that's okay for the first time. And the third thing is the room will not be illuminated unless you actually step into it. You have to take that step into a darkened room before the light will shine. So what darkened rooms are you stepping into this week, guys? I'd love to know. Tell me more. Ciao for now.